Going from dating to exclusivity, things you need to know to prevent breakups. Have you found yourself like in situations with a woman or the woman that you're dating right now, and you're seeing this and you're wondering, what are we? What's going on? Are we exclusive now? Or how do I even become exclusive with her? I don't want to be weak if I talk about exclusivity with her. Is this the right time? So many questions, right? Well, if you haven't had the conversation yet, you're gonna want to know how to make sure that things move smoothly towards that level, gentlemen, and I'm gonna help you with this. And you guys have been asking for a video like this for a long time, and that's why I wanted to dedicate this video today in regard to this topic, because I'm gonna help you guys out and really finally get you clarity. For those of you that are watching for the first time, hello there, my name is Apollonia Ponti. I'm a dating, relationship, and attraction coach for men, and I help men really sustain healthy relationships, attract their high quality women that they actually deserve, and also better themselves and better their love lives. I've been doing this for over 7 years, and I truly love what I do. And so if this is your first time viewing, I welcome you to this channel. Hit that subscribe button. And to my subscribers, I always love to give you guys a shout out. Hello, and comment below, as I love interacting with you when I post this video. So we're gonna put this at ease. I know that for a lot of people, the topic feels like you're literally walking on eggshells because you don't want to look stupid, or you don't want to overstep or make this woman feel like you're putting so much pressure on her, right? And you're probably even heard that if it can scare like a woman away if you don't approach this transition, I should say, in the right way or at the right time, which is so crazy to me sometimes when I hear this advice out there. So I'm gonna kind of put a nail on some of this. And it can also bite you in the butt, I'm gonna be honest, if you start to treat a woman as your girlfriend and you give her girlfriend treatment if she hasn't done anything yet to deserve it, gentlemen. And I've done videos about this too. But what I mean by that is that you can't just put her up on a pedestal if she hasn't shown you that she's sincerely invested in a future with you and ready to do the same for you. I've actually filmed so many videos on how to make sure you aren't mistaking unavailability for a woman being a high value partner. And I'll link it below because I highly recommend for you to check that out after this video as well. Because this is something I see a lot of the times, and I don't want you to look at this video and say like, I'm gonna make it exclusive with this woman if she's that type of woman. So it's really important that you watch that video too after this. So we're gonna focus more on how to move things to the next level with a woman with grace and at ease so that you feel like you're in control. She feels inspired to continue to commit to a relationship with you, okay? And the key to success, gentlemen, is really to know how to lay the foundation early on. Because if you haven't laid the foundation early on, we got to back up here, okay? And I'm going to tell you, we're going to lay the foundation now. So you want to make sure that you're very clear with what you're looking for from the get-go, gentlemen, and for long-term goals right off the bat. Now, here's the thing. If you just go with the flow and avoid talking about any of the important stuff, like kind of surface level talk conversations, because one of you is just going to get hurt. Instead, start by laying out the foundation, by letting her know that you are looking for something serious. You are interested in seeing really where this goes. And if it's not with her, you know what you want as a man. A man that is actually so clear and intentful when it comes to dating, he will attract a high quality woman, and the women that are going to be turned off by this are not the high quality women that he wants in his life, period. So in order for you to get quality, you have to be of quality, okay? So I'm not saying that you're gonna go on a date with this woman in the first stages and say, yeah, I want a relationship with you and that's what I'm looking for. I want to marry, a child, a white picket fence. No, gentlemen. When a woman asks you a question or it comes up on a topic is like, how long you've been single, you get into these conversations, all you have to say, and this is what I practice with men, it's called the value statement. I do this a lot in my group coaching sessions, and boy, it's called the algorithm of attraction. These men are blown away by the results they get when they actually know their value statement. And a value statement is really about what you're looking for. It can sound something like, listen, like I've been dating, I've been single for 2 years, definitely had my fun, but now I'm looking for something more serious, something more sustainable, somebody that I can just have a great emotional connection with, someone that makes me feel safe, someone that I can explore the world with, someone that has lots of passion for the same things that I do, and we can live a life of abundance and just really have fun doing it. That's what I'm looking for. Clear, straight to the point. Now what you're doing is you're not telling the woman that you want her to be your girlfriend. You're just clear on what you want. So what you're doing is you're laying the foundation and you're subconsciously saying to the woman, either you're going to be like this with me and this is going to be a value of yours and a trait that you want. And even if I just gave you the guidelines on how to attract me as the man that you want in your life, possibly. So that woman is going to have the guidelines on how she needs to show up in the face of you if she wants to attract you. You've already put yourself on a level where it's like, if she wants me, she has to also attribute to this. And the same would go vice versa. Now, there is a way to do that correctly, right? That is that. But don't bombard a woman you've just met and tell her right away what you want her to be like, and you want her to be your wife, and she's so beautiful. No. Instead, just let her know that you do envision settling down basically with the right person and having a family, and that you're open to seeing where things go in your life, and you just really just enjoying this process, but you just know what you want. Just like the example I gave you. Even if you've been dating for a few months and you haven't expressed this, it's not late, gentlemen. You lay your foundation before you even go into any exclusive conversations, because what happens is if we don't lay our foundation and we've just had a surface level relationship, you might be caught off guard to her and saying like, oh, well, I'm just having fun. And now you kind of know where to go and navigate this relationship. You don't have to make it dramatic or anything. Just find a moment to introduce it, and introduce it just for a minute and then let it go. Like, for example, another one, say you're at a park and you see a family having a picnic. You can say, I'm really looking forward to having a family of my own one day. Just plant seeds. Or if you don't want to take it to that far, you can also comment on how cute old couples are sitting on a bench and say, oh, I love to see that. Hey, maybe that'll be me and you one day, right? That depends on the level of the relationship that you're having with this woman. Just keep it positive and lighthearted as you start to lay the groundwork as you're dating this woman. As time goes on and you spend more time together, you'll find out more about opportunities that she wants, and that you can sprinkle it into kind of conversations with yourself. And now that you kind of tweaked her eyes a little bit and she knows that you're kind of wanting and having the same page and probably being on the same page, she's going to be probably more open to even starting the conversation on her own. And then as your relationship starts to develop also too, you'll start to notice signs that things are becoming more serious. So for example, maybe when you start traveling together, that's one. This is actually such an important part of developing relationships. Many couples, I always say, like, if you guys aren't in a relationship and that's what you're aiming for and you haven't had the exclusivity talk, why are we traveling in the beginning so fast, right? Because I always say that one of the best ways to really get to know someone is to travel with them, right? So you see how they are when they're unwind, but you can also see how they are when they're in a new situation, maybe even outside of their comfort zone, right? And if you're doing a big trip, gentlemen, the problem is that I've seen so many guys do is they'll do these extravagant trips with women, but not have an end goal. And then they become kind of like this guy that just provides for them and gives them opportunities without having the same direction, the same foundation. And then she's in this relationship, I should say situationship with you, thinking like, oh, we're just having a good time and he takes me to places and that's it. No. One of the biggest parts of a relationship development, gentlemen, is meeting each other's basically needs and understanding what are the future goals for one another and having that effective open communication and making sure that this person feels safe with you and testing it along the way, seeing if she remembers things that you shared with her, right? And then another thing is meeting each other's family. Like, I'm a big believer in meeting each other's family, depending on where you live and religion and all this, but really when you guys are exclusive. And so many times I've seen men saying, oh, well, she met my mom, my sisters, blah, blah, blah. But what are you? Why did you give her this opportunity to give you this deep of a connection in your life if she's not giving you that connection? This is how you set yourself up to be hurt, because it's a big step. And it means that you're serious about each other. But if you don't know that she's serious about you, this is where you will go wrong. You don't really meet anyone's family if you're not planning on having a relationship be short-lived, right, gentlemen? When these things happen, then you're consistently seeing each other maybe every weekend or maybe even every few days. You can start to bring up things like this in the conversations about family, or even like what the future holds, what she wants in her life, and having these talks. But when you do, here are a few things I want you to keep in mind to really make sure that you're setting yourself up for long-term success when you're dating a woman. Okay, guys? Okay. I want you to ask yourself if there is any baggage that you may have that you haven't addressed yet within yourself in dating. Write this stuff down, okay? This is in terms of your own emotional baggage. Hear me out. Like maybe codependency or insecurity issues that stem from a past relationship. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example because this is also about any type of baggage that the woman might have too. I just wanna be clear. Like if we don't identify things within us that reside in us, what will happen is we will attract that in another person. So it's really important, or vice versa, that'll come up in a relationship with a great woman and we'll turn her off and we can't get that connection, and then we get frustrated and we get tired and we get exhausted in dating. Okay? And the same vice versa should be for a woman, but it's always about identifying it within you first, so then you don't attract those heavier relationships that are probably bringing in that a lot of baggage, right? You don't want a tense relationship, obviously, too. Let's go back to my example. Maybe you had a previous ex whom shared a child, for example, with, okay? It's very important to be able to have vulnerable and honest conversations with whatever woman you bring into your life about topics like this, to find solutions and be like, this woman is still in my life. We don't really get along, but we do share a child together. This is my son. How do you feel about that? And then having some boundaries discussions around that, right? This is really important, and it's healthy because this also requires a lot of self-work, because let's just say that your ex was just cheated on you, did some horrible things to you, and you're like, oh, I just hate her and da-da-da-da, but whatever, you don't have to worry about this. But that's not coming from a place of healing. And it just shows a woman that you're unstable and probably will tweak her mind to say, there's something still there if he's really that worked up about her, right? So self-work and healing can take place where it needs to, gentlemen. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen men get into a relationship that they thought had a lot of potential, only to see it fall apart because of these fundamental issues hadn't been addressed early on, or they're just both individually and not, I would say, invested in between him and the woman. One of them will always get hurt, and this is always a person that always overinvests. And this is why self-awareness is so incredible, men. In fact, I dive deep into how to cultivate self-awareness in my algorithm attraction group coaching program. You have group coaching with me every week, and you do have private coaching with me access in this program. If you are interested in getting just an understanding before we go on how you can work with me more, I would highly encourage you to just book a free call. The link is below in the description box. I'm only doing this now as I've had significant results for men, and I'm only one person, and so I've gotten really, really busy, and I've really, really been able to amplify and get men results with this program, and me being their coach. And I can do group coaching with you every week. You have direct DM, text messaging access to me, and private monthly coaching with me. So gentlemen, this is a game changer. All you have to do is just book a free call, and I can go over that with you, or someone else, which is my success coach, will go on the call with you and really get into what's going on in your life, advise you on what your next step should be, and it's a free call, okay? Let's move on. Now, what I want you to understand too, gentlemen, is that the second thing to take into consideration before you make things official is if you genuinely see a future with this woman, okay? This is so important. It's not a woman that's fun. It's not a woman that's beautiful. It's important to be clear on what you both want. What do you see as a future with her? What do you bring as much as what does she bring, right? Let's say you want kids and she doesn't. You're not going to be able to build a life path together that is aligned. Somebody will end up self-sabotaging that relationship later on because of the fact that you're ignoring the true issue. It's also important to be honest with yourself and ask yourself if you can imagine being truly happy with this person. Guys, I want to give you a story. I'm going to start right here and give you actually a personal story that just came up for me. I didn't even think about this in the video, but it just came up. I have now an 8-month-old son. My husband and I just had a son. When we first started dating, on my second date with my husband, I think it was the third. No, it was the third or fourth, can't remember. But he even asked me, do you want kids? And I said, I'm not too sure if I want kids. I don't think so, but one thing I do know, and it's a non-negotiable, is that I do want to adopt. So I do want a kid, but I do want to adopt a kid. And he was like, okay, I can deal with that. Me too. Like, I've always wanted to kind of adopt, but I'm also like more of a go with the flow guy. I'm not too sure if I want kids either. Me and him traveled the world. I built a business, and then we just kind of grew as individuals in our marriage and ended up wanting kids. And 2 years ago, we made a decision that we wanted kids, and now we have this beautiful son. So here's the thing. The reason why I share that with you is because we've always constantly been in alignment. And as we grew as people and as we grew as couple in our relationship, we always were communicative. And what's important is when you have a foundation, if one person doesn't want something and the other person does, and you communicate about it, typically something will happen with each couples because you have so much love and trust within one another that at some point, something will happen that there does come a compromise, or the both of you want the same things because your foundation is there. You built loyalty, you built trust, you built love. So you know that you have value in this relationship to create something more, whatever that may be. So it's really, and the reason why I share this is because it's really important to understand, like, as long as your foundational elements are there and reside and you have healthiness and respect for one another, things can always change and evolve in your relationship for the better of you two. So you have to take into consideration the kind of person they are, gentlemen, their values, their lifestyle, their communication style, their goals, all of it. The reason why I chose my husband was because of all of this and because I loved him dearly, right? Sometimes I see men who are just so eager to get that girl that they ignore all these super important stuff just so that they can lock her down and be the guy that got the girl. I remember when I was dating, there was men that were just they were just so focused on me. And I knew they knew nothing about me. So why was he so focused on getting me that I just felt so turned off by it? But when I met my husband, he was not all about me in the beginning. I'm going to be honest. Like, he liked me, but he took his time. He was like, I need to figure out this woman. Let me see what she's all about. Like, I'm taking my time, and I ended up investing in him a lot more because he took his time, because he showcased himself to be of value. So let me tell you this. This is a recipe for disaster when you go all in and you don't even know the reasons of why you're dating this woman and what she can bring to you in the future. And it's important that I have this conversation with you, men, because in our society, we don't teach men how to have standards for the women they date and standards for themselves and uphold them with themselves, right? And so many women can say shame on me, but I'm a mother with a son, and all those other women out there, I can tell you right now, as a woman that has raised and has sons, or women out there, you don't want your son to be with a bad woman, right? Okay, so we need to start talking to men about having standards just as much as we talk to women about having standards for the men they date. Men should be doing the same thing and upholding those standards. Because if we don't, that's why so many men turn to anger, turn to disruption, turn to dismissal, is because they don't feel like they get the correct guidance from our society. And this is why my business is so important to me. And also, too, this is why so many men out there see my videos on YouTube and they're like, this is so different. Because you always need to be honest with yourself, gentlemen, and clear with yourself. And if you're not, I'm going to help you get there. I'm going to help you get clear on what you want, okay? So let's wrap things up and tie it in a nice bow on this dating to exclusivity journey, gentlemen. Transitioning from casual dating to exclusivity isn't just about ticking off boxes of following a strict timeline, okay? It's about building a solid foundation based on honesty, communication, and sharing goals. I want you to think of like this. I've said this on a speech once. You are the cupcake. You can eat a cupcake and it can be delicious, right? But the woman will be your frosting. Remember that. And remember, it's essential to lay the groundwork early on by being clear about your intentions. It's so attractive when a man is clear about his intentions. And also, too, it's refreshing. A woman doesn't have to play this guessing game because the more honest you are, the more safer she's going to feel in your presence and what you're looking for in a relationship, because that is going to attract a high quality woman and you're going to be able to put through the stringer the women that aren't. But don't rush it. There's no need to drop the marriage bomb on a second date. There's no need to drop a relationship bomb on a second date. Keep it light, keep it positive, but keep it intentful and date with purpose. Let it flow naturally, as I always say. Pacing is the root of attraction. And as your relationship evolves, pay attention to the signs. Maybe eventually having these conversations, then traveling together. Then now you're meeting the family because you're in a relationship. These are significant milestones that indicate they are both serious about each other. And when the time feels right to really approach this topic of exclusivity, approach it with ease and openness and confidence and vulnerability and no nerves. Like, literally, remember, before you have a conversation, as long as you feel like you are a catch, you are the catch. And so if you acknowledge that you're going to present that to her in the conversation with clarity, compassion, and really clarity again, like that's all. So don't forget, gentlemen, that also self-awareness is key here in addressing fundamental issues. And that's why in the beginning of this video, I talked about the type of women that you're dating, that I want to link this next video right over here. I'll definitely link it in the cards below and also in the Watch Next playlist. But I want you to be honest with yourself and your future woman, because compatibility isn't just about chemistry. It's about shared values, goals, and your lifestyle. And what do you see? Like, do you see this woman, if you want kids, to be the future mother of your child that they can learn from? Don't ignore red flags in the pursuit of a relationship status because she's beautiful and she's fun. Be the guy who will prioritize authenticity and clarity, even if it means walking away from something that isn't right for you. Because a high-value man does not get attracted to a woman because her beauty, does not let himself navigate the relationship only based on beauty. That's, of course, a blessing, and it's also, too, a gift. But he knows, a high-value man knows, that just because of her beauty doesn't mean that he's going to be blind to everything else. So start navigating the path right, guys, and start following it with confidence and grace, because that already resides within yourselves. So go ahead and watch this next video right over here. If you like this video, comment below if you like this style video. And also, too, if you haven't subscribed yet, press that subscribe button, and I'll see you again in the next video. And remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.